on the post game. Cenk and Anna with you guys. Casper, go.
Okay, so some of you might have caught what was mentioned on the main show today. A lovely person gifted me a table saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a compact table saw. Look, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm super excited.
Because you're obsessed?
I'm obsessed.
And won't stop talking about it? But other than that, go ahead.
But there's a dilemma, okay? So of course I've watched.
What do you saw first?
No, that's not the dilemma.
Okay.
So of course I've seen a bunch of tutorials, videos, yada yada on woodworking, how to use a table saw, but I had never had a table saw in front of me where I can see the blade and I see how it works. And it is scary. It is scary. It is a scary piece of machinery.
Yeah. And it.
So it's sitting there in my living room right now, and I'm afraid to use it because I haven't received the proper education yet.
Yeah,
and the videos that I have seen about like safety measures, like people lose their fingers. It shows you like all these scary things. So now I have to take classes.
Yeah, you got to.
And those classes are gonna have to take place after work. And so I know.
She's gonna be like, let's wrap things up. I gotta go. I got a table saw. I gotta learn how to table saw.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. And so you need a table saw and you need a miter saw.
Obviously.
I decided, you know what? I'm worth it. Okay, I'm gonna buy myself a miter saw.
So you got the miter touch.
I got the miter touch. I did not buy a fancy miter saw. I did cheap out and bought a $100 miter saw. But that's good enough. Good enough for now.
Yes, I know so many women who are saying, you know what? I'm worth a miter saw.
Okay, so anyway, I'm bringing this up. You might be thinking, I'm a new member. Why am I listening to this? This is boring. But I have a Dromsy story pertaining to woodworking.
God.
I do. I do. I have a Dromsy story.
Real quick before you move on. So if you are a new member, sometimes we'll talk about policy, sometimes we'll talk about our personal lives. That's what happens in post games. And I'll tell you right now, here's who's never gonna use a table saw.
You.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Nor should you.
Yeah, it's got the tip of my fingers written all over it, okay? Okay, here's who's not getting his fingers ripped off by a table saw, me. Okay, I'm not going anywhere near it. I'm a spaz and I got no interest in it. And I know I will do great damage to myself, so I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, look, I've seen you operate heavy machinery in the form of a vehicle. And no, I mean, it's a disaster. You should never, you're not allowed to do that kind of stuff. So
I hit a couple of employees' cars
cars
in the parking lot, and all of a sudden I got a bad reputation, okay?
Yeah.
So anyways, now my daughter is saying, isn't it? Okay, so drops.
So I do not ever want to reveal the name of this person, but I want to share an interaction that I had with this person because it's relevant to woodworking. So you'll know why. You'll know why I don't want to reveal his name in a minute. But
so it's JR. I got it.
No. So there was. I was.
Give me a door.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's not anyone that I deal with on a regular basis, luckily. But so I was at an event and I came across a Republican lawmaker.
Ooh, fascinating.
So the person that I speak of is a Republican lawmaker. And so we engaged in a conversation, and this is literally the first time we've ever spoken to each other. He has no idea who I am, but I know who he is. And so the very first question he asked me, and he asked me this question while giving me a certain look, okay?
I can't wait for this question. This is already an excellent story.
Yeah. What do you do? So what do you do for fun?
What a strange question.
Okay, so first, there's two men in the studio right now. There's men in the control room.
There's also insanity in the control room tonight, so just so you know.
Christian and I had a disagreement about what the meaning behind that phrase is, or that sentence. So
can I answer? Would you like to have sex tonight?
Okay, but here's the thing.
That's the actual question he's asking you.
When a guy
By the way, every guy in the control room's going,
yes, yeah. Okay, so anytime a guy asks me, what do you like to do for fun? He's hitting on me, right? Maybe there are rare, exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, when someone looks at me and says, so what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah.
So
two things. Sometimes I am the rare exception because
100%.
Yeah, because not even in your case. I'm saying anybody because I'm a weirdo. I'm a goofball, right?
100%.
Right. So like I'll be in an elevator with somebody. Just watch old school, right? I'll be in an elevator with somebody. I'd be like, "What do you do for fun? Any ping pong? What do we do? What do we squash, paddleball? What do we do?" Right? I don't think paddleball is a thing, and I'll start a conversation that way just because I'm weird, right? And it's fun. But that's definitely the exception, not the rule. Second of all, context matters. So why is a politician asking you in a political context, what do you do for fun? Like if Steve Cohen, who's a really fun congressman, so sent is almost never spoken, right? He's from Tennessee and he does kind of wild, outrageous things. He's super progressive. So I like him a lot. He's really good friends with Michael Schur. So it's kind of a funny thing. But anyway, Steve Cohen might ask you that if he knows you well enough, right? And you're in a different context. But you're in a political context because I know the story. Now I know who you're talking about. Okay, and in that context, in that situation, first question is, what do you do for fun?
Literally the first question.
No, that means like, would you, because what I'm asking you is we don't have a lot of time and we're in this situation where I'm not gonna get to talk to you for a long time, so I'm just gonna blurt it out. Would you like to have sex with me?
Pretty much, that was the sense that I got, right? And so I was totally caught off guard by that question and the tone, the way that he asked that question. And so I kind of panicked because this is the kind of stuff that you hear about like in movies or whatever. Like I'm like, oh my God, this is happening, this is weird, I don't know what to do. So my mind's racing and the first thing that comes out of my mind is woodworking.
But the thing is, that might actually be a disastrous answer.
No, but it totally was a disastrous answer because he was so into it. He was like, because
not just because he might be into woodworking because he's a Republican congressman, but when he says, what do you like to do for fun? And you're like,
oh God, I didn't even think about that.
He might have been like, boom, this is way easier than I expected.
Yeah. So I said woodworking.
Woodworking, I can't believe you said woodworking.
Yeah.
That's the worst answer you can give.
No, I know, but
I like to work over wood. He's like, yes! He's like, who said that?
I really like to stroke that knotty pine.
Oh, come on, now you're getting
Knotty pine is a thing, by the way. It's a thing, knotty pine. Knots.
Oh, naughty. I thought it was like naughty pine.
I know.
Or nutty pine. No. Either way, kind of dirty, but okay.
Anyways, so I said
you said woodworking.
I know.
All right, okay, go ahead. Go. What do you like? And then at that point, like, was he jumping out of his seat? Like, okay, all right, which bar? Where are we going? What's happening?
So his response was one of excitement. Like he seemed excited, and then once he seemed excited, I was like, oh, what am I doing, right? Because for me, responding with woodworking is super unsexy. Like that's not sexy. It's like, oh, I like to woodwork, you know? But to hit, like, this is like some Republican lawmaker who probably, like, I don't know, maybe he was a lumberjack a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like that kind of stuff. Like they're turned on by that kind of stuff. Like they do that kind of stuff themselves. By the way, I'm just generalizing.
Totally
generalizing.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Almost Trump level generalizing. Okay.
You know, all those Republican lawmakers, they're lumberjacks and woodworkers. Anyway, ridiculous. But he was like, oh. Like he just seemed super excited about that. And then I got really uncomfortable. And so I think I said something about like, yeah, I really want to build my own closet. I don't even remember. But then luckily we got interrupted by one of the organizers of this event. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then I ran away. Okay. Ran away.
By the way, that's an old Casper trick. And look, she doesn't mean anything by it. And it might happen to you one day. Like you might be in a situation. She just sometimes doesn't like to be in public. And you'll be like, oh, look, Anna Kasparian, how you doing? She's good. You turn around for a second, gone. She's gone. She's already gone. She's at the table zone.
What do you mean?
Okay.
When have I done that?
No, you run away all the time.
I do run away.
See, I told you. Okay.
I do. It was the perfect escape. And I was so happy that someone interrupted us. But it was And then later on, I told Christian about it, of course. And then he disagreed that it means, when a guy asks you, what do you do for fun, that it means that they want to have sex with you. But he also said woodworking was a terrible answer because he also generalized about Republicans woodworking and doing things that are handy with
he also believes the Republicans are lumberjacks.
Yeah.
No, they're Wall Street wannabes. That's who they are. Anyway, so, for a second, I forgot if it was my mom or my wife, which is already funny. But it's my wife. Sometimes she'll say, let's say it's our 5-year-old daughter, she's innocent. And that's what I have to say about Christian.
Yeah.
Like he hears a Republican congressman hitting on you and he says, no, he probably cares about what you like to do for fun and he's just making conversation. He's innocent.
Totally. And also Christian is, in a lot of ways, like naive about politicians because he doesn't do what we do. Like we know how skeezy they really are. Whereas Christian's like, they're people just like me, you know?
No,
kind-hearted, sweet people. No, they're not.
Okay, so guys, I shouldn't do this because it's a further tease of you guys, but so if you knew who that Republican congressman was, you'd be like, oh, of course he's hitting on you, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, because look, sometimes I'll tell stories like that when I come back from Washington, etc. But it's important for us not to betray people's confidence.
Yeah.
Because otherwise then you don't get those stories. And it's important for you to even know those stories, even if you don't know the name attached to it.
Yeah, and look, we're members, right? Like you guys get to know this story, even if there's no value to it, it's entertaining, I'm sure. And we're just having fun. And I'm not trying to destroy this guy's life, and we shouldn't try to destroy this guy's life. So, like,
and it's off the record, and that's not important.
Yeah.
I know it's fun, but it's not important.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will. What was the hitting and flirting story I was going to tell you guys? Shoot, I forgot. That's what happens when I'm hungry, as you all know.
Getting hit on while you're married, I don't know, like even if I'm not doing anything wrong, I immediately get nervous. I don't know why. I just get nervous.
Oh, me too. I mean,
right away.
Like women hitting on me when I'm married. I mean, look, it happens all the time. What can I do, right? And I just get a little too nervous. How would I know?
But I think, look, I think
the only time that it might have happened is when, there was like after that Harvard, maybe I shouldn't even say, but after one of the live shows, I already said it. Let's keep it real. Okay. And like sometimes people will say like things that are a little weird, but they mean it in a really, really great way. Like, hey, because they know we're either cheap or poor and all that stuff, and like, hey, you need a place to stay or whatever. And so I think that night actually two different sets of people asked that, but one group asked it with like, hey, how you doing? You need a place to stay tonight? And I was like, ooh. No, thank you though, I appreciate it. No, I'm like you when that happens. If there's ever a super rare situation where I feel like somebody's hitting on me, I run, okay? And I'm gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to stay around and find out what might happen. So I'm just keeping it real, right? You're running away for the opposite reason, because you don't want any part of that.
No.
I'm running away because I might. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. No, I gotta go. Okay, God.
That's amazing. Yeah, like I don't know. I've never been tempted. But the one thing that I will say is, it's super uncomfortable to reject someone. I think that's what I'm fearful of, right? Because if they're too aggressive and it gets to the point where I have to do some sort of rejection, I get uncomfortable and I don't want to get to that point. I remember one time, someone who I was actually very close with, we go out, we're friends, strictly friends, never have any history, nothing like that. We go out, have some drinks. He had a reputation for being a bit of a Casanova, okay? And pretty much, anyway, I don't want to give too much away. So anyway, we go out, we have a few drinks, we're friends, he knows.
Oh, I figured it out.
Yeah.
Michael, sure.
No. No.
Who's playing bus
No,
next?
I've never hung out with him outside of work.
Well,
Yeah.
famously so.
Yeah. By the way,
wedding store.
nothing against Michael Shore. It's just that's never happened. But anyway, so we go out, have drinks. We're everything's good. And then this is when I'm living alone in my apartment. And so he decided to walk me to my apartment, and then he would get an Uber from there. And oh my God, he went in he was going in. Like he got really close, he's in my personal space. I'm like, no, he's not doing this. No, he's not doing this. And then he starts to kind of lean in, and I was like, oh, I really gotta pee. And then I went to the,
Okay, good
I
rescue.
handled it perfectly.
Yeah, that was much better than the woodworking.
But like internally, I was exploding. Like I was like, this is the most uncomfortable thing in the world because this is a friend. And I don't want to verbally reject him.
And guys don't know. So
Yeah.
like the whole thing is awkward, right?
Yeah.
And so you're right. Look, for me, it gets, if there were a situation, I think, like, has there been? I keep thinking like I've done this when I feel like, why would anybody hit on me? I don't, anyway. So, no, I would like assure the woman in the most hilarious way, no, you don't understand. I would definitely have sex with you. Okay, I just can't. I'm married. I can't. That put me in trouble. Okay,
yeah.
but I need you to understand. I would definitely have sex with you. So anyway, all right. Well, it turns out that's what you get for membership. How's that for drums?
We start off with table saws. We end with, I would definitely have sex with you.
Right. But that put me in trouble. I gotta go. Okay. Old School's next, and it's in about 28 minutes. We'll see you over there.